When Menace II Society hit theaters on May 26, 1993, it refused to look away. Directed by twin brothers Alan and Albert Hughes, just 20 years old at the time, the film plunged audiences into the streets of Watts, Los Angeles, with a story so raw and unrelenting that critics immediately called it one of the greatest American crime dramas ever made. Shot on a budget of just $3.5 million, it grossed $30 million at the box office and earned an 85% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Tyrin Turner, Kane Lawson. When audiences met Tyrin Turner in 1993, they were watching a man who seemed born for the role. Turner stepped into the character of Khandi Kane Lawson, a young man trapped between survival and self-destruction, and delivered a performance so convincing that he received a nomination at the Independent Spirit Awards. Before Menace, he had appeared in Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation music video, but Kane Lawson was his true introduction to the world. What followed was a Hollywood story many talented actors know too well. The breakout role that should have opened every door instead left Turner waiting for years. He found work where he could, in Belly in 1998, television guest spots, and films like Meet the Blacks. But what most people didn't know was that Turner was never truly idle. For over 2 decades, he wrote comedy material for his close friend Jamie Foxx and comedian Affion Crockett, and moved into producing with the Fox series Alert Missing Persons Unit. Then in January 2025, he launched a national tour for the off-Broadway stage production of Jason's Lyric Live, reconnecting with audiences who had never forgotten him. Today, in his early 50s, Tyrin Turner is still acting, still writing, and still present. A man who stayed committed to his craft through every season. Larenz Tate. O-Dog. Larenz Tate was barely 18 years old when he auditioned for the role that would change his life. His portrayal of O-Dog, a trigger-happy teenager with a frightening absence of conscience, was so electrifying that critics immediately identified it as one of the most memorable performances of the decade. The Hughes brothers had taken a chance on a young Chicago kid, and he had delivered something extraordinary. What distinguishes Tate's post-Menace career is consistency. He never disappeared. Within 2 years, he delivered another acclaimed performance in Dead Presidents. He played the romantic lead in Love Jones in 1997, appeared in the Oscar-winning ensemble Crash in 2004, and brought the politically calculating councilman Rashad Tate to life in the Power franchise on Starz from 2017 through 2024, a role that introduced him to an entirely new generation. Off-screen, he married choreographer Thomasina Parrott in 2006, raised 4 children, and co-founded Tate Men Entertainment with his brothers. He has also long served as a national spokesman for sickle cell disease awareness. At 49 years old in 2025, Larenz Tate remains one of the most respected actors of his generation. Samuel L. Jackson, Tat Lawson. By 1993, Samuel L. Jackson was already on the verge of a transformation that would make him one of the most recognizable human beings on the planet. Born in Washington, D.C. on December 21, 1948, Jackson appeared as Kane's volatile father, Tat Lawson, and his explosive presence in those early scenes gave the entire story its moral weight. It was a small role in screen time, but enormous in impact. What came next is one of cinema's most extraordinary stories. Just 1 year later, Quentin Tarantino cast him as Jules Winfield in Pulp Fiction, and everything changed. He won a BAFTA, received an Oscar nomination, and became globally iconic. The films he has appeared in have collectively grossed more than $27 billion worldwide, making him the highest-grossing actor in the history of cinema. In 2022, he received an Honorary Academy Award. In 2025 alone, he appeared in Afterburn, guest-starred in Tulsa King, and made a memorable appearance during Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. Behind the fame, Jackson has spoken openly about his past battle with addiction, a struggle he overcame through rehabilitation, and credits that survival as the foundation for everything that followed. At 76 years old, he shows no signs of stopping. Jada Pinkett Smith, Ronnie Menace II Society, was Jada Pinkett Smith's theatrical film debut. Born in Baltimore on September 18, 1971, She was just 21 when she played Ronnie, a young mother offering Kane a glimpse of tenderness in a world with very little of it. Her performance launched a career that would touch nearly every corner of entertainment: film, television, digital media, and literature. The decades that followed brought both achievement and very public challenge. She appeared in The Matrix Reloaded and Girls Trip. She built Red Table Talk into a platform that reached millions. But her personal life became one of Hollywood's most scrutinized stories. In 2023, she revealed that she and Will Smith had quietly been living separately since 2016, reframing years of public appearances in an instant. She also publicly disclosed her alopecia diagnosis in 2018, a condition causing significant hair loss, and handled it with remarkable openness. By 2026, photos showed her hair continuing to grow back, a quiet personal victory her followers celebrated alongside her. Today, in her mid-50s, Jada Pinkett Smith continues working and living entirely on her own terms. Khandi Alexander, Karen Lawson. Khandi Alexander was 35 years old when she appeared as Karen Lawson, the grieving aunt trying to hold together a family that violence was tearing apart. Her ability to convey anguish and dignity simultaneously made every moment she was on screen deeply felt. What many viewers didn't know was that before acting, she had been a professional dancer and choreographer who worked on Whitney Houston's international tours. The years after Menace confirmed that Alexander was a performer of rare durability. She went on to appear in What's Love Got to Do with It, Scandal, and most notably CSI Miami, where she played Dr. Alex Woods across multiple seasons, becoming one of the most recognizable faces on American television. She later appeared in the critically acclaimed HBO drama Trim. Today at 67, she continues to work selectively, one of the most consistently underappreciated performers of her generation. Arnold Johnson, Grandpa. Of all the performances in Menace II Society, few carried the moral gravity of Arnold Johnson's portrayal of Grandpa Thomas, the elderly man desperately trying to pull his grandson back from the edge. Johnson was 71 years old when the film was made, and his scenes with Tyrin Turner gave the story its conscience. Born in New York City in 1921, he had spent decades in film and theater with roles in Putney Swope, Shaft, and Rocky. Sadly, Arnold Johnson never saw the full legacy of his most remembered role unfold. He passed away on April 10, 2000 in Los Angeles, at 78 years old. His passing was quiet, without the tributes that accompany more famous names. But every time a viewer feels the weight of an older generation watching helplessly as the younger one destroys itself, they are feeling something Arnold Johnson placed there. That is a legacy worth honoring. Bill Duke, the detective. The interrogation scene featuring Bill Duke is one of the most chilling moments in the entire film. His portrayal of a cold, methodical detective said more about systemic violence against young black men than any speech could. Born on February 26, 1943 in Poughkeepsie, New York, Duke was already an established director and actor before Menace, with credits including A Rage in Harlem and Deep Cover. In the years that followed, Duke continued both acting and directing, appeared in classics like Predator, and dedicated significant energy to mentoring younger black filmmakers through programs he helped create. His advocacy for greater representation behind the camera has been a consistent and important thread throughout his career. At 82 years old, Bill Duke continues to act, direct, and teach, a living bridge between generations of black cinema. Charles S. Dutton, Mr. Butler. Charles S. Dutton brought something to Menace II Society that no other actor could: the genuine authority of a man who had lived the consequences his character warned about. Born on January 30, 1951 in Baltimore, Dutton spent years in prison in his youth before discovering theater, eventually earning a scholarship to Yale Drama School and building one of the most improbable careers in American entertainment. When he played Mr. Butler, the stern mentor trying to steer Kane toward a better path, every word he spoke carried the weight of real experience. His career after Menace continued to build on that moral authority. He starred in the television series Rock, earned Emmy recognition, and won a Tony Award for his stage work. He has used his platform consistently to advocate for rehabilitation programs and second chances. At 74 years old, Dutton remains active in film and theater, proof that a man's past does not have to be the final word about who he becomes. 32 years after it first shocked the world, Menace II Society endures because the people who made it were not performing. They were channeling something real. Some of that cast became global icons.